Hello everyone. So I have been to Paris recently and I want to share the experience with you. This video will be very different from the usual content on this channel, so I hope you enjoy it. In total we have been there for 1 week. It was last September. So I will try to recall everything we have done that week. It was a lot. Here are some pictures of Nola in the plane. She looks so cute above the sky. First day we arrived quite late to the airport, Paris Charles de Gaulle.
Charles de Gaulle.
We landed after 6 I believe, so we headed straight to our hotel. We arrived there later than anticipated. At the airport it was a bit hard to figure out how we can get to our hotel, because apparently we couldn't buy weekly pass and they said it's only for the locals, but in Paris itself they said everyone can use it, which is weird. Our hotel was
Auberge de Jeunesse Le D'Artagnan.
and it was actually more of a dorm. We got a room just for two of us. There were separate shared dorm beds too, but the price difference was not much different, so we decided to sleep alone. I think it was 71 per night. We had a shower in our room included, which was really bad. The water was barely dripping out of it, and it took forever to warm up. Not only that, there was some mold above the beds in the corner of the ceiling, but they said they couldn't do anything about it. Which is okay, it was the cheapest hotel we could find in Paris after all. For that price the breakfast was included, but it was nothing fancy. This was next morning. Usually they have two types of cereal with baguette or toast that you can add ham and cheese to. Also fruits like some apples and oranges. There was some apple puree and yogurt. On that day there was only normal Greek yogurt. You can water it down with hot drinks like coffee, tea or some juice. After breakfast we dressed Nola and ourselves and went on a quest to figure out how Paris transportation works. It wasn't easy, but we managed. Our first stop was catacombs, but we arrived a bit early, so we went to a nearby cemetery. It was very beautiful. They have a lot of family graves that are like little chapels or shrines with stained glass in them. After a short walk in the cemetery, we returned to the catacombs. When entering catacombs, you receive an audio guide, which was included with the normal ticket. Normal ticket was 12 euro, but make sure to book in advance. That goes for almost every attraction in Paris. The catacombs tickets you can only book 1 week in advance. When inside, you go down the long windy stairs. After some brief history about catacombs, you have to walk a long way through a passage until you arrive to the land of death. Boyfriend was a bit scared to visit the catacombs, since there is a lot of horror stories of people getting lost in them. And yes, catacombs are huge. They are about 300 kilometers, but the museum is only 2 kilometers long. And it's all secured and separated, so it's impossible to get lost there. In catacombs you will meet countless remains of thousands of humans. I estimated maybe millions. I double checked and it was about 6 million. All of them were once alive. Some of the remains were arranged to represent certain shapes like hearts or crosses. There used to be one that represented Eiffel Tower, but it got deteriorated over the time because of careless tourists. At least that's what they said. There were a lot of remains from the revolution and famous people who led those revolutions. Fun fact, in the year 1897 there was a secret party in the catacombs where people who got an invitation sneaked in and held a concert performance. It was all death themed. At the end of the catacombs you will see a tunnel that goes up. That tunnel was used to transport the human remains down. At the end of our catacombs exploration, we went up the stairs and found ourselves in the souvenir shop, which was right above this tunnel. Trust me, every tourist destination has those souvenir shops. There we got this little pin. They also had nice umbrellas with school handles, but it was not unique enough for me. After the big meeting with Dev, we went to my must-go-to destination, and it's of course Angelique Pretty Paris. This was my first time visiting a Lolita store. I was so excited. We were allowed to film in there. It's just as magical as you would imagine. They even had a Pulip doll in there that was in a collaboration with Angelique Pretty. I knew I wanted to get something from there, but it's mostly for sweet Lolitas and I am more of a sour one. At the end, I decided to get a head bow with 4 types of lace. I think it's a great choice since I still don't own a singular head bow. The shop assistant was so very nice, she even gave me a purple bag with it, since I'm pretty sure that's the darker shade that they have there. Overall, a must visit in Paris. I was the happiest person that day, but I am sure that goes for the whole trip. After that, we had an open schedule, so we headed back to the hotel and started looking for food. We went to a place called Au Gourmet. They had big enough portions for my liking with very good prices. We went with pasta bolognese and pasta with salmon. Also, their fries were delish. I believe pasta was around €9 with drink included and fries €3, €1 extra for bacon on top. After that, we were just wandering around until we found a shopping center called Achan. We didn't know if it was a shopping center at first, kinda looked like a factory. There we had some bubble tea. I noticed they have a lot of small businesses, like there is more than H&M, Zara and Starbucks. I guess you can go to H&M, but you can also look through smaller boutiques and find something you like. Because back home, if you need something, you go usually to just one single store and that's it. So I really like that. After that, we slowly went back to the hotel, but of course we had to stop on the way to a park. Forgot to mention I wore that Angelique Pretty bow immediately on my beret. The park was very cool. They had a bunch of different types of trees there. I even took a little picture of a board with the history of the park. Then Wednesday, big day today, we start with breakfast. Today we had more variety of yogurt. And so we went to our destination, which today is Louvre. I decided to wear my new baby doll dress with my freshly made headpiece. Louvre was beautiful. Of course, we went straight to Mona Lisa. We had to walk through a beautiful gallery of outstanding paintings. And there was she, the Mona Lisa. She was definitely smaller than anticipated, but there she was looking at you. When you turn around, the opposite of Mona Lisa is this huge painting of a wedding. It's a wedding where Jesus was invited to and he turned water into wine, so it's a big epic painting. There were so many beautiful things, we just couldn't take a picture of everything there was. So we only took the ones we really liked, like this one, also painted by a well-known person called Da Vinci. Here is a famous statue of goddess of victory Nike, and painting of Louis XIV, I believe. Or this cute monkey statue, just look how cute it is, holding this little banana bread. Next to Louis XIV painting was this clock, which is made from 2000 components. We even managed to see how it works and how it moves. I don't think boyfriend realized how big Louvre is. After a while, we were just walking and passing by paintings and sculptures left and right. There was no end to it. If you plan to visit Louvre, make sure to book tickets ahead of time and visit the Mona Lisa first, or else you will be too tired for her from all the walking. We also seen a real mummy. Yes, a real mummy. I was actually more excited for the mummy than Mona Lisa. They also had mummified cats, fish, birds and other animals, even an alligator. Maybe they used them as practice before doing it on human's body. Then we saw Venus de Milo and many more popular statues like Hermaphrodite. By the way, last month at Louvre there was a big heist, but as for right now, they didn't catch the suspects yet. Also, here is a picture of Nola with some of the jewels, but I don't think this crown was stolen. After exiting Louvre, there was a big shopping center with many touristy shops. One of them had everything Eiffel Tower themed, like a toothbrush or chopsticks. I think there was a cheese grater too. A really colorful and funky store. We went to eat at the same place as before, just this time we had pasta carbonara and one with chicken. After filling our bellies, we went on a walk towards the Eiffel Tower. On the way there, we saw this epic building called Magdalene. Trust me, all the buildings in Paris are epic. I thought it would be a museum, but it was just a church. I don't think it was anything interesting though. So we went forward until we saw the Eiffel Tower. We had tickets for ascending the tower with the elevator, of course. But you can take stairs if you are sporty kind. Boyfriend booked tickets perfectly so we could enjoy a romantic sunset. As the sun went down, Paris vanished into the darkness. The tower is like 160th floor, so it was a little scary looking down. It's divided into 3 sections, the top, glass floor and the first floor. Paris looked very beautiful at night. And then we waited and waited. Eiffel Tower sparkles at night. I think it was at 21 for us, but time might differ. I think it's always after dusk. I'm not sure. Now to the next day. Usual breakfast at the start. Today we have a bit of a relaxing day. We stopped at a cozy place for some onigiri to replenish our energy. Today we visit the
Bourse de commerce.
At the start, our carpet made of mints was waiting for us. This museum is more of a modern one, so I believe the exhibitions might vary on the time you visit. This time there was this exhibition with floating balls. I mean, it was just balls. It was okay, but the highlight for me was this mouse right here. Balls alone wouldn't make me visit this museum, but the mouse definitely. It also moves and talks, which I didn't know. It talks gibberish though.
There is no Well, we have many.
It stumbles on its thoughts, tries to get to the point but never gets to it. I love it. I got a little pin of it since it was so cute. On the lowest floor of the museum was a neon light exhibition with the weird 3D show, which looked a bit creepy, but it probably will make you sleepy. Was okay, but nothing rivals the mouse. Next to that museum was another church. We didn't go there though, because we got distracted by a pigeon. On the way to metro, there was this cute craft store, which was running for over 50 years, really recommended for soloists. It was a bit on the pricier end. I got some lace for Nola and a ribbon that I wanna turn into a ring. One ribbon was €7.40, so a bit expensive. After a short trip from the metro, we went to this waffle kiosk where they were selling Eiffel Tower waffles dipped in a chocolate. We got strawberry and pistachio one. It was €6 each. It was okay, definitely more for the looks than the taste. After those meh waffles, we went to the Notre Dame. the one and only Notre Dame. The beauty of Gothic architecture and time in one huge structure. The walls that filled with history, that experienced so much hardship and suffering, that's Notre Dame. There was a mess while we were there that day. At the exit there was one tourist asking me what was I or what was this. I will get more into detail at the end of this video about that encounter. Forgot to mention that we sadly couldn't get up to the Notre Dame. There are still some repairs in the process after the fire in 2019, so we couldn't read the gargoyles. Would be a dream to visit Notre Dame in a Gargoyles of Notre Dame JSK from Innocent World. So after that groundbreaking view of Notre Dame, we rested our feet at the Seine. Then we headed back to the hotel for a short break. But shortly after hunger struck, so we decided to have some crepes. I wanted something cute, so that's what I searched up, and we went to the first place that came up. And let me tell you, it didn't disappoint. A must go to. Not only that, they had Madoka Magica posters inside, the crepes were amazingly tasty, and the decor was super cute. There was even a Holy Madoka figure. That place is a must to go, even Nola enjoyed it. 10 out of 10. You can skip the Eiffel Tower waffles and head to these cute crepes instead. But crepes didn't fill boyfriend's big stomach, so we decided to look for some more foodie. Next to our hotel there was this restaurant called Chef Hours with a cute bear in the logo. The food there was delish and cheap too. They are also open till 22, so good for late snack. The staff there was super friendly too. Even with our little French skills, they made sure to serve us good. Now Friday, the last hot day in Paris. It got to 31 degrees at some point, so it was time to leave the blouses at home and rock JSK without them. We arrived to a shopping center called Lafayette. As you arrive, you will be met with all the top brands at the same time. A huge shopping center. They even had a Jellycat station there. The dome at the top of Lafayette is something that makes the shopping center stand out even more. Don't forget to ascend to the 6th floor, where you will be met with a beautiful view of Paris waiting for you. I wore the same dress as to the Louvre, just with the wrist cuffs I made with the headpiece. Of course, my baby Nola was matching with me. After that, we wanted to take more pictures of the Eiffel Tower. The pictures you see here are taken next to the Fire of Liberty, where Princess Diana was taken from us. They had pictures of her as a memorial there. We also commemorated our love there with a love lock. I know Parisians really dislike those locks. They even had to close off a love bridge, so you couldn't put any more locks on. But at the certain points like Fire of Liberty, it should be okay. But our day just started, so we had some time to kill, so we wanted to try some macarons. We found a place where there is a chef making them nice and fresh every day. Sadly, he wasn't done baking a new batch just yet, so in the meantime we drove to Arc de Triomphe. It was bigger than I imagined. Not only that, around it there is a really scary roundabout. But it's okay, you don't have to cross it, because there are underground stairs that lead you just under the Triomphe. And after that we walked through the famous Champs-Élysées. There were many more stores of all kinds. Since it was a pretty hot day, we didn't stay there long. So we went back to check on our macarons. We got 4 in total. They were all delightful, but I personally really liked the passion fruit one. But the day wasn't over yet. Boyfriend planned something special in the afternoon. After waiting in line for a bit, they let us in the official Genshin Impact event. This was a very spontaneous destination. We didn't even know there was an event in Paris at that time. We saw at our hotel some people with Genshin Impact bags, so we thought maybe we missed something, but the event was $20 per person, and it was pretty big event for a singular MiHoYo game. You had to do daily tasks, like solving puzzles, admiring artworks, and even doing in-game dailies. After collecting all 7 stamps, you should get a pack of 7 character cards. Sadly, we had to come pick them up the next day because they ran out of them and delivery was delayed due to strike. There are a lot of those in Paris these days. After the Genshin Expo event, we went to visit Notre Dame again. I think it's the 3rd time. And we came in a perfect time because they were playing organs. Yes, the organs of Notre Dame. Also, if you are visiting any holy place in France, make sure to cover your shoulders, torso and thighs. A lot of tourists got turned down from entering because of their attire, but maybe they only reinforce it during mass or ceremonies, because 2 other times they just let people enter freely. But I don't know, maybe I noticed it more because it was hot day, I'm not sure, but just be aware. On that day I got a precious rosary from Notre Dame. I was thinking of getting maybe one with black or red beads, but last second I went with this one, which I am so happy about. This is now my prized possession. In the evening we went back to Chef Hours and we ate there. After some rest we went to another park.
Parc Monceau.
It was definitely some magical park. That was a long day, even Nola got tired of all the sightseeing. So we rested until the sun got up. Another very long day is ahead of us. We immediately took public transport and drove outside Paris. There is only one thing right outside Paris, and that's the Palace of Versailles. Sadly, it's supposed to be rainy day today, which is not ideal, but what can you do? After the long train ride, our eyes met the one and only Golden Gates of Versailles. It was a bit hard to navigate how to get inside, since the A entrance is split into different times, so make sure you don't end up queuing in the wrong line. Basically, your ticket should specify what time you can get in, and you have to find that line for what time you booked, so make sure to come a bit early. But once we got in, our eyes didn't know where to look. One room after the other was more spectacular than the last. From the top of the ceiling till the bottom of the floor, everything was decorated with the finest of furnishings. Walls covered with the best artist paintings of that time, and left to right huge windows overlooking the beautiful garden of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles is definitely not small. History was made there. We had an audio guide with us too. I personally think it was too crowded. Sometimes you can't even breathe in. It was too many people in there. At the end of Versailles, there was this very long room with many important people, statues and paintings. After that you may exit the Versailles and perhaps go down to the opera. There it wasn't too crowded. After walking up and down through opera, they locked us in one room, which was kinda scary, and then the performance began. We somehow made it just in time to view this amazing performance, and it was definitely one of the highlights of the Versailles. But that's not all. The biggest part of Versailles is its ginormous garden. It's huge, like I can't even describe how big it is. We personally were too tired to walk at that point. There were also some villas behind the garden where you can take a little train, but we didn't go there. Instead, we went to rest at the restaurant in Versailles, where we had an amazing creme brulee. A bit pricey, but worth it. So we rested a bit until they kicked us out. After that, we explored the city around Versailles. We also found a not too bad restaurant. The pizza was amazing. I liked the creme brulee so much that we ordered another one. After the big meal, we headed back to Versailles for a special show. Only today in September, they are having a huge light show event, which you had to purchase tickets separately for. It was so worth it. All of the fountains were lit up, and every 10 minutes there were amazing fountain shows. Usually they turn on once an hour during normal days. They gave each person a little map with the routes to explore. Each took 1 hour if you are walking fast enough. It was beautiful. At 23:15 everyone had to gather up for the biggest part of the event. After a bit of light show, there were fireworks. Fireworks in Paris, what can be more romantic? It's just that Versailles is not part of Paris. Next morning we were pretty dead, so we started our day in the cemetery. This cemetery is really recommended for tourists, but I like the one next to catacombs way more. It was way quieter there. Not only that, the stained glass inside their little grave chapels were intact. In this cemetery, most of them succumbed to time, and there is no more family around to replace them. There were way too many tourists there. There was this one guy who bowed down to me. I don't know why he did that. I think he thought I was a nun. While I am walking hand in hand with my boyfriend, and mind you, I am wearing a beret. Apparently only tourists wear them. I mean, sure, if this is your idea of a nun. After that weird encounter, we got lucky. Today was free entry into Sainte-Chapelle. When you go in, it kinda looks boring, but as you ascend up the stairs, you will be met with a view so magnificent it's hard to even describe. Trust me, pictures and videos don't do it justice. It's an absolute must-see in Paris. We also went to a jewelry place called Adjust Paris. They should sell vintage jewelry for 5 euro each according to TikTok, but how can it be vintage if there are multiple same rings on the display? Anyway, they didn't have anything cute, so TikTok disappointed me. After that, hunger struck again, so we decided to visit some restaurant TikTok recommended me. As we got there, we immediately turned around and left. The line was so long, all the way across the street. There is no way I am waiting 2 hours plus for some food. So we went to another place TikTok recommended us. It was this Chinese restaurant that served these big bowls of noodles. We immediately got seated, but the food was meh. It just wasn't that good. This is definitely the last time I am trusting TikTok with any recommendations. After that disappointment, we went to.
Basilique du Sacré-Cœur de Montmartre.
On the way there was this chocolate store with huge chocolate statues. They had one of the Notre Dame, which took around 700 hours to complete. They also had other statues like Eiffel Tower, gargoyles, and many more. We took a little escalator to ascend us up, since it was included in our weekly ticket, and then we were up. There was a mess there again, which was not clear for some people. I think the priest even stopped his speech just to shut one woman up. He even called her out personally. Honestly, I didn't find the church or basilic that amazing. Outside we saw the crooked buildings. Well, it's more of an illusion. They weren't anything special either. Descending down was really horrible. There were so many people and so many scams running around, even more than under the Eiffel Tower. And it's just sad to see, since it's a religious building. At one path, there was 5 men with those handmade bracelets, like 5 of them on the same path, forcing that stupid bracelet on your hand, just so they can ask for money from you later. Then down the church was some scammy game with those 3 cups, so you can win some money. There was a whole family standing around the cup guy and hyping each other up like they are unrelated people winning big prizes. It was really obvious. I guess worst for the last, because I really didn't enjoy anything about that church nor around it. At least at our place we got some desserts. Last morning, last breakfast. As you see, our trays were quite empty this time, at least compared to the previous morning. No yogurt, no ham, no cheese, just some salami. They said that they ran out. At least today we should be home. We said goodbye to our room and we made a long stressful journey to the airport. Our metro on the way got stuck, but not only that, we barely made it. We literally made it on the last final call. We ran through the gate so hard I didn't feel my legs. If we were even a millisecond late, we could not have boarded that plane. Thanks to my boyfriend's luck, we made it. I think I'm the unlucky one, so it's all thanks to him. But it's okay, we are now in the plane and taking off. We even saw a Hello Kitty plane. And here is the last view of Friends. Now I am back home, everything returned to its usual self. Now new problems to worry about. Now I can go back dreaming about Paris. Oh yeah, I should get into some cons about Paris. Technically I was a lifestyle Lolita that whole week, so bear in mind it's an experience from my point of view as an alternative person. Personally, I thought that there would be way more alternative people in Paris, especially Lolitas. There are so many Lolita dresses with Paris-inspired prints and motifs. I thought Paris is this fashionable city, and I'm not saying they weren't fashionable in their own way, but where are the alternative people? Not only that, the amount of people who complimented me was a lot. French people are open, but so are tourists. The amount of tourists who randomly ask me for pictures is crazy. Some of my courts were really simple. I had to decline every time because of my personal reasons. I really don't understand why would you need a picture of me in your gallery, but some of them even took it with a clear no. They still turned around and took picture anyway. It got to a point where it was really annoying, even if I said no. Maybe that's why there are no Lolitas in Paris. Some even turned around and took pictures of me from behind. Like, what will you tell your grandkids? Yeah, I saw this weird girl with a normal dress and I took a picture of her. Not only that, she had this creepy doll with her. Like, I don't really understand their point. Also, I forgot to mention, after Versailles, we were heading back to the hotel at night and there were some locals shouting in the metro. After exiting the metro, a guy who was sitting next to me on metro got up to us and apologized about their rude behavior because they were saying some mean things about us. It was very sweet of him, but trust me, if he hadn't told us, I wouldn't have known, since I didn't understand what they were saying anyways. I also think there were too many people in Paris. No matter where you go, there were too much people everywhere. Metro packed, museum packed, cafes, streets, everything full of people. I understand it's popular tourist destination, but it's way too crowded for me. People say Paris is a dirty city, but I personally don't think so. Yes, there are some corners where it smells like something you do not wish to know, but it wasn't awfully dirty. We saw a bunch of cleaners cleaning the city. Of course, it's not the cleanest city, but I don't think it's the dirtiest. Maybe 7 out of 10. Also, they didn't check our transport tickets the whole trip until the very end going to the airport. That was the only time and they sure got a lot of people. But overall, Paris is a very beautiful city. The architecture is outstanding. Yes, you will be walking a lot, but it sure is worth it. Even if I didn't see many Lolitas in the city, they still have angelic pretty. For that reason, it is even more worth it. The food is magnifique, like they say, and it's a very romantic city. A lot of people really loved Nola, especially since you have to go through TSA in every touristy destination. A lot of people were saying how cute Nola is and wanted to know more about her. She was the star of the show. But would I go again? I personally don't think so. I think we already saw everything, so there are other places that take priority in my travel list. We wanted to go to the Musée de l'Orangerie, and we didn't go to the Garden of Luxembourg. But other than that, I don't think there is anything else I would wanna see. So yeah, that concludes my vacation. What did you think about this vlog type of video? I don't think I recorded enough though, but let me know what you think. Are there some hidden gems in Paris that I should have visited? Let me know. But that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching and bye bye or au revoir.